Jake, you went on record saying that he really lacks a lot of the fundamentals, the skills, and really only has the strength and the power. It seems like your mental is really on point. Is that going to be the differentiations to make you get this victory?
Yeah, 100% footwork, his rhythm, the speed, and crossing his feet. All of these things are going to have a big play on Friday, December 19th.
And that necklace, I have to ask you about it. Are those bullets? Is that you're going to war here?
Yeah, we're going to war, baby. 50 cal. I was at the shooting range shooting my 50 cal. I put the bullet up to my neck. I was like, I got to make this into a chain. But we're going to war December 19th, so this is in honor of this fight.
Jake, can you walk us through?
You getting respect from the boxing community?
1 second, hey, right here. Go.
Jake, win, lose, or draw, do you think you're getting respect from the actual boxing community for taking on a guy like Anthony Joshua?
I don't know, man. I don't really care. I don't even know who the boxing community is, to be honest. Like, who are they? I don't know. Where are they? I don't know. I don't really know who these people are. And it doesn't matter. This fight is bigger than boxing. So boxing's a small inkling of the fans that will tune in.
Jake, you mentioned that you called him directly, AJ. How did you present the fight to him, and did he say yes right away? Like, did it take convincing? How did that call go?
No, he was down. I basically just said, let's fight. Let's make it happen. Our teams are going to talk. And he was like, all right, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And as simple as that.
Do you remember, like, in the process of order, like, what the order was of him saying yes? Like, how many people said no? Or was he in the process of the whole making this fight up?
Well, we talked even before Gervonta Davis, and he said yes then. So really after Gervonta, we called a bunch of people, and he was one of the names that said yes, and that was actually down to do it in December.
How fed up were you with Gervonta by the end of it, and just, I guess, how that all unraveled?
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do any promotion, doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. And I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit in boxing.
Jake, Clarissa Shields and others in the boxing and combat sports community sort of criticized you, saying that they agree with the reasoning of not platforming Gervonta Davis because of his past, but that was also present before signing the fight. So your response to that?
Yeah, I think if people have a past and they reform and they're doing better and they're on a good track, people deserve second chances and opportunities. But when you bring the past into the present and do it while we're in the middle of a fight promotion with massive company like Netflix involved and MVP being a champion of women's fighters, it just makes things a little bit different. And we, didn't know whether or not he was going to be arrested, in days prior, and still don't know. So who knows?
Will you ever revisit that fight?
No, I'm not going to work with him ever again.
Jake, you look forward to facing off with Joshua. To break down the face-off, what do you think about his size? Did you say anything? Did he say anything?
No, we didn't say anything, but he looks intense, focused, locked in. He's obviously very, very tall. Looking up, my tallest opponent. My eyes are at his, chest level. But yeah, he's locked in. I'm locked in. I don't think there's fear in his eyes or in my eyes.
Yeah, Jake, tell us the difference between your face-off with Gervonta, where you're a head taller looking down, and now looking up at Joshua.
No, it's surreal. All of it is very, very funny, and my neck started to hurt after looking up for a little bit. But this is what we signed up for, and he's very tall, but that means I can use my speed and my size to my advantage as well.
Jake, what type of journey has it been for you to start all the way from fighting guys like Ben Askren, rising all the way up to Anthony Joshua? Just explain quickly that journey for you as a fighter.
And some give.
Yeah, just hard work, man. Discipline, being in the gym, taking my licks, sparring, continuing to get better and rising every single camp, improving my skill, dealing with a lot of crazy shit in boxing and a lot of naysayers. And I always said this is where I would be, and that's what ended up happening.
And you knew from the start that you would make it this far.
100%. I saw boxing. I saw my skill. I saw what others don't see in my discipline and how hard I work in the gym. And so I know what I was capable of since day one, and that's why I always used to talk so much more shit.
And when you say the boxing community, we do respect you. There's the fake naysayers out there, but the true fans do respect what you're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate
Jake,
that.
Did your opinion on
Jake, obviously this is a big event, and obviously you have a great supporting cast. Alicia's 12 3-minute round fight, but we just found out that Anderson Silva's fighting Tyron Woodley.
two gentlemen you are quite familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was your reaction when Nikisa was able to fly to London just 2 days ago and get that fight together?
Man, it's massive. I'm absolutely stoked for that fight. It's an amazing matchup. I think both men have the ability to win, and I'm excited to see who's the better one of those two. But they're both massive names, and it just adds more firepower to this already stacked card.
Jake, there's
Man, it's tough. I would say if Tyron can utilize his jab, which was the key for me against Anderson, then I could see Tyron doing it. But if Tyron doesn't use his jab a lot, then I think Anderson will win.
Jake, there was this famous moment in the Marvin Hagler versus John Mugabe fight where Ray Leonard's watching and he sees something. He says, "You know what? I can beat Marvin Hagler." Was there a moment where you're watching Anthony Joshua's fights and you're like, "I can beat this guy"?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's watching his Dubois fight, watching the Ruiz fight, even watching the Usyk fight. And when you look at it, he's lost to guys who are smaller than him. I think it's his, it's his weakness. It's his kryptonite is the faster guys who don't get hit by his big punches.
What is it about this version of Joshua that you feel you can exploit, and what kind of interests you the most about this version of Joshua?
I mean, he's an amazing fighter, one of the best heavyweights ever. I just think with speed and footwork and being in a rhythm, I don't think he can handle that, and he doesn't like that because he is a little bit stiff. He does rely on his power. Obviously, you get hit by one of his shots, you're cooked, but I believe I'll be able to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Should you beat, obviously, this former world champion, a first ballot Hall of Famer for many, is the next step a world title shot?
Yeah, I mean, I think I should be getting the world heavyweight championship belt for this fight. But yeah, that's always been the goal, is to become world champion. I think that would be the next step.
What do you think about AJ's punch resistance? Come to question in a lot of his fights.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely a bit chinny. He's durable. He gets back up. He knows how to fight when he's hurt, and he's still dangerous when he's hurt. He's dropped people. He wobbled Dubois when he had been dropped multiple times. So he's very tough. He's very, very, very tough. But I do see holes where I can land big shots.
Why do you think Tyson Fury's picked you to win by KO?
Well, I think he's a smart man. He knows boxing.
Are you surprised when boxers don't want to fight you? You're supposed to be easy, so why would they say no?
Yeah,
why would
no,
Ngannou say no?
that's what's funny about it is everyone has a lot of shit to say. They want to fight, but then when it actually comes, like Ryan Garcia, for example, always talking shit, always has something to say, but didn't want to do the fight.
So Joshua walked in and said he was very impressed with that. What's the value of it?
Man, this is like $1 trillion, 364 carats, Bugs Bunny.
Hey, does it feel like a full circle moment from fighting at Island Gardens, your first fight, to now coming back and bringing boxing back to Miami?
Yeah, 1,000%. It's surreal. I love Miami. It's like a second home for me, and I'm gonna carry that same winning energy that I had since my first pro fight and shock the world here.
Did you think back then, during that Gibb fight and being on the undercard of that card, that you would be at a moment like this, fighting someone like Joshua, especially at that time?
I didn't think it would get this big, this fast. Having some of the biggest fights in the world, I knew I would do great things. I just didn't know exactly what they were, but this is definitely surreal.
What of your favorite?
Tommy Fury fight closed. John Fury is saying that he'll fight anywhere but America.
Well, we weren't even trying to fight him in America, so like that was their excuse. Like, you tried to get me to go to America, and I can't come to America, and you know that we had other options planned. They're gypsies, and like gonna say a bunch of shit. So I'm not worried about Tommy right now. I'm the only thing that he has, and if he wants to fight at some point, he just has to be realistic.
Can you clarify this rumor online that's suggesting that your brother Logan might be in a fight with Tyson Fury?
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I have no idea.
What happens if they do meet in the ring?
Logan Paul by KO first round.
Jake, a lot of the boxing purists, even as much, as many things as you've accomplished, they still kind of like turn their nose up at you. Do they need to kind of get over that, or does that actually help you because it adds a level of intrigue to your fights?
Again, it's the thing that's wrong with boxing is shooting itself in the foot. Why would you have hate towards the singular fighter who's done more for the sport than all of the rest of the fighters combined, outside of themselves. They're selfish. They do great fights themselves, but I'm talking about building gyms. I'm talking about championing other fighters. I'm talking about bringing the sport to Netflix, the biggest streaming platform. I'm talking about giving fighters their biggest paydays ever. I'm talking about women's equality in 12 3-minute rounds, turning these girls into stars. The list goes on, and prospects, having a platform for young boxing prospects. What other fighter is doing any of this stuff? And I don't really even like to talk about it, but I don't get why anyone in the sport would want to shoot themselves in the foot of me and talk shit about me and take and tear me down because I'm only doing great things for the
By
sport.
the way, one of your favorite fighters in the world is fighting tomorrow. What's your message for David Benavidez?
Man, he's got this. He's a beast. I think he's gonna knock out Anthony Yarde.
One more question.
At the end, what about your position in boxing right now? I was in your pro debut right here in Miami, and then it's totally different. Fighting in a place very close to here and right here in the Casilla Center. Do you believe that you has a lot to build in your career, boxing career?
Yeah, no,
A lot to
100%. 100%. A lot to build, a lot to prove. I'm also still young and at the highest level. So that's exciting to me. I'm only going to get better in the next couple of years and continue to do massive fights and challenge myself.
Even you say your family say that like, it was a crazy move
Yeah.
facing Anthony Joshua. Are you agree with that? It's a kind of crazy move.
It is on paper, but I think just knowing myself and what I'm capable of and what I've been working on in the gym, and then having Anthony Joshua as an opponent, I think is a winnable fight for me.
Finally, for me, do you believe that if another boxing icons will take some kind of risks like this one, do you
No.
believe that boxing will be better?
No. I think the only person who's even remotely taken a risk like this was Canelo moving up to fight Bivol. A 7-pound difference. This is a 40, 50-pound difference. I don't think people really want to risk losing or having a tough challenge or risk getting knocked out. But then essentially you're not even doing what the sport is. You're not giving the fans what they want in these massive fights. That's why KSI is scared. Tommy Fury's scared. That's why Tyson Fury and AJ haven't fought. Like the list goes on of how many major fights haven't happened because of people being scared.
Did your opinion on Ngannou change for not taking the fight and seeing AJ taking the fight?
Yeah, I just thought. I mean, he's just an idiot. Like I'm like, yo, what are you doing? If you're so confident, if you feel so disrespected, you're having all this bad publicity about your name over the past year and a half. This is an opportunity to correct that and stop me. I mean, he's basically also talking shit to Mike Tyson for fighting me. Say like, Francis, you're nowhere near the legend. You never will be even close to the legend of Mike Tyson. You're saying it's disrespectful to get in the ring.
Thank you, guys.
All right, you're gonna have a new